In December 2019, Egypt established a law that allows the foreign investors to apply for the Egyptian citizenship through 5 different ways, including bank deposit option, donation option, real estate option, and company establishment option. Today we have Dalia Tobgi, Global Relations Director at Prime Properties, to explain a little bit more about this law and tell us more about it. Hi Dalia, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
We're so happy to have you here with us today and would like you to tell us more about yourself and about your job at Prime Properties.
Of course, I'm the Global Relations Director for our company. My main responsibility is creating a connection between our investors and the government that they wish to apply for, as well as processing their applications.
So what are the methods that allow the foreign investor to apply for the Egyptian citizenship?
There are 5 methods in which someone can obtain the Egyptian citizenship. The first one is that they can make a non-refundable contribution to the government for the amount of $250,000 if they wish. They can also do one of the 4 other options, which includes the company formation, the real estate investment, and there's also 2 options if they wish to do a bank deposit.
Okay, so in your opinion, how do you think this program will help Egypt?
Well, one of the most important things is that it will increase the FDI, which is the foreign direct investments that we have here in Egypt. It will also provide funding for public programs such as education, healthcare, and employment. It will also send a message to the globe that we have a stable economy here in Egypt.
And as a foreign investor, how do you think I will benefit from obtaining the Egyptian citizenship?
In order to answer this question, there are 2 parts to it. There's the economic benefit and there's also the livability benefit of someone who wishes to live in the country. As far as the economic benefit, we are one of the largest markets globally. We are the largest market in the Middle East with having a population of over 100 million. So the investor can come in, for example, and purchase a property, and we have also one of the highest valuations for the return on investment in the property if he wishes to sell it in the future. And then as far as the second part of the question in dealing with citizenship and living in the country, the person will be seen as a Egyptian citizenship so that they can be able to open a bank account, they can own land and properties as an Egyptian citizen, and they can also, have a stronger passport compared to, unfortunately, other countries in the Middle East where they're seen as a refugee and their passport doesn't have a high value of access as the Egyptian passport. As well as for the older generations, it is a climate that has good weather all year round, and they can use it as a retirement destination if they wish.
So as you said, one of the ways was bank deposit option and donation option. Are these ways considered to be ways to buy the Egyptian citizenship?
This is a very important question because this is misinformation in the immigration through investment industry overall, of that people think as long as they make the required investment, they automatically get the passport. When in reality, it's a very rigorous process. The first step just to open the door for the investor is to pay the amount required by the government. They also have to go through a rigorous medical and security check in order for the country to verify that they are an applicable person to enter to the citizenship.
What are the conditions that must be fulfilled in order for them to apply for the citizenship?
Well, the first is every member of the family has to have a clean criminal record, as well as a clean bill of health. And specifically for the main applicant, they need to be participating in legitimate business practices in which they can provide a clean source of funds for their application.
So we'd like you to tell us more and explain a little bit more about the procedures and how long it might take.
The first thing that the investor has to do is pay $10,000 that are non-refundable for government fees, as well as collecting all of their documents, required documents, and completing their applications. And then once they receive the initial approval, they're then required to make the rest of the investment as according to the program that they choose, whether it be the real estate or donation, bank deposit, or the company formation.
And regarding the Egyptian residency holders, does the length of their stay affect the speed of the response?
Overall, it can, but the main important part that the government looks towards is how fast they can process their application and turn in their required documentation.
Are there any restricted nationalities that are not allowed to apply?
As for now, there aren't any restricted nationalities, but it's important to note that the Egyptian government can refuse any person's application at any time without providing a reason for it.
And can the Egyptian nationality obtained through investment be inherited later on?
Yes, it can. Of course, originally it'll be provided to the main applicant and to their children, and then it can also be provided to their spouse later on. So it's open to multi-generations of the family.
So can the main applicant add his parents, his siblings, and the children as well?
For now, unfortunately, the parents and siblings can't be added, but the children, as long as they are 21 years of age, they can be added with the main applicant.
Do they have to enroll to the army, his children, once they obtain the citizenship?
As a dual national, no, they do not have to enroll in the army, they'll be exempt.
If the investor obtained the Egyptian citizenship, does he have to forfeit his original and first nationality?
No, fortunately, Egypt recognizes having a dual citizenship, so they can keep their citizenship of origin as well as being an Egyptian citizen.
Is there a deadline for the program to close?
As far as we know, there is no deadline for now.
What is the expected time to get the passports?
It can take between 6 to 9 months, but of course this is all dependent upon how quickly the main applicant can provide his documentation and complete his application.
So we'd like you to tell us more and explain this part a little bit more. What happens first, applying for the citizenship or paying the investment money or the donation money?
Well, first they pay the non-refundable $10,000 and they gather all of their applications and their paperwork, and then once they get the initial approval, they pay the remainder of the amount.
Let's talk in more details about the real estate option. Should the property be a completed project or can it be under construction?
Both apply. If the person wishes to customize a project that's still under construction or purchase something that's move-in, they can do both.
Is there any specific location that the property has to be located in?
No, they can purchase in multiple projects across Egypt as far as the project is government owned.
And regarding the payment, is there an installment option?
If the property is over the minimum of $500,000, they pay the $500,000 first, and then the remainder of the amount they can pay in installments, but they need to pay the minimum completely.
Is the sales contract a sufficient evidence to prove the full payment?
No, they also need to provide a transfer that the funds came from abroad as well.
Now, regarding the company establishment option, can the investor create and establish a new company, or it has to be an already established one?
Fortunately, the investor can choose from either option, whether they wish to choose an established company or if they wish to create one from scratch here in Egypt, either apply. The important note is that they make an investment of at least $400,000 and they own at least 40% ownership in the company.
Is it required to have an Egyptian partner in this company?
No, if they wish to be the sole owner of the company, they can.
Can the funds be used in establishing the company?
Yes, they can be used for establishing the company. They can also be used to cover the company expenses. The most important part is that it's the best option for the company, that within the first 5 years of operation, they don't declare bankruptcy.
So tell us more about the bank deposit option.
The bank deposit option is for people that wish to put a passive investment into the Central Bank of Egypt, and they can do it through two options. They can either make an investment of $750,000 and hold it for 5 years, and it will be returned without interest, or if they wish to have a smaller time frame, they can make an investment of $1 million and it'll be returned after 3 years.
Thank you so much for being with us today, and thank you for all of this information.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. Contact us if you need to know more information and get started.